Hello and welcome everybody to another episode of Jobless Weebs, number 132.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm Brian, and with us, as always,
A bit more Mexican.
yeah.
How are you, Brian?
Pretty good. Yeah, pretty good this week. I've been looking into some hilarious anime recently, so yeah, I'm feeling great. I finished the Villainous Level 99 anime.
Oh yeah, that was fun.
One.
That was fun.
Yeah, it's a good one. It's lighthearted, but it ends
you know,
so
like
well.
you know, but by the time this video comes out,
Oh
like,
yes, yeah.
spring, spring, it's about to start or already started because the first episode of the third season of Konosuba already came out today. Which, you know, when this comes out, episode 2 probably is already out as well.
Yeah.
So.
Oh man, that's exciting. Konosuba is like close to my heart too. Oh man.
We've said goodbye.
Yeah.
These past 2 weeks to the winter.
That's right.
Anime, which, you know, a lot of good ones.
Yeah. Yeah.
A lot of male ones. And a lot of horny ones, which I doubt we'll ever cover this because this is a wholesome podcast.
That's right.
For the most part.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Or at least we try to keep it PG.
Oh yes, we try. Yeah. And always with that transition with it to a new lineup of anime, it's always fun to try out some new ones, see what's out there. Of course, we have had our notable anime coming out, that episode a few weeks ago, but it's always fun to, you know, like really experience what they're like. I always find it fun, like going through, oh, what about this one? Or like, oh, what about this one? This draws my eye. I always find that very fun. How was your week though?
It went by really fast.
Oh,
like,
yes.
You know, I'm telling you, like, next thing I knew, it was Thursday, and I was like, whoa, what the heck?
Yeah.
I mean, granted, I took a day off from work.
Oh, you did?
To go snowboarding.
Oh, very fun.
Like, you know, also the winter season, it's almost also over, so, you know, a lot of the snow resorts are also gonna close the doors. And you know, this is like the 6th or 7th time that I've gone in all my life, and I didn't fall as many times, but the times that I fell, I really felt it.
Oh, okay. Right.
There was this
hard.
one time that we went down a black slope, and you know, black is for experts, which I'm clearly not.
Okay.
and it was just so steep, and I was just trying to, you know, go like a little fast and braking, and there was this one part that my legs kind of gave out, and I just fell on my butt.
Oh,
and you know, instead of started rolling, I just started sleeping like if it was,
man.
and I was like, what the heck? And I just went down like good like 30 feet or so, and I was like, ah! And that happened like 3 times.
No way.
And in my snow pants, like,
oh, I bet there's like a rip.
They broke. Yeah, they were ripped, and I was like, man.
No, dude. Well, that must have been a fun way to wrap up the season. That was the last for this for this year.
At least for me, yeah. I think you know, there might be still a couple resorts open still for the month of April, but but yeah. You know, on the last time I went down, I actually did manage, and I actually felt like, you know, like the anime opening was like playing, and I was like, and I was like, what's this? Is this me? And I was just like going like this on a roll, and I didn't fall, and I was going fast, and I was like, you know, I was, you know, in the zone, and I was like, no, now this time, and this, because every time that I tried to, you know, turn. Because you know, like that's how we always see it in video games or the media. It's like you are like this, but instead of going like this, I was going
straight down,
like this, and this, like on zigzag, and not straight down. And that last,
because you control your speed a lot more doing that.
Yes, that you're supposed to, but you know, every time that I try to do that, I somehow had the board to stick to like the snow, and I would fall like front or back. And you know, that last time I was like, man, I was in a roll, but my legs were already about to give out, and I was like, no, let's call it good. Because next time if I go down, like my legs will probably are gonna give out, and no, it's gonna, you know, leave a bad aftertaste. And,
and on a good note.
So yeah, I ended on a good note, and I was like, man, I was like, yeah, that was fun, because you know, I had fun every time, but it felt more like I was paying for Mother Nature to kick my lights out.
Oh yes. Well,
and you know, this time I felt like I went snowboarding, and I was like, man, it was like, it does feel good. It does feel good.
Oh, that's amazing.
What are we going to talk about today, Brian?
Yes, for this week we've got a kind of interesting anime. We have the Unwanted Undead Adventurer, which just recently aired for this past season, for the winter season. I think I liked this one in particular because it wasn't like a run-of-the-mill isekai or just like a fantasy where it's like, oh, it's like a write-off season or like series. This one I kind of liked because it was a little bit unique, where this guy basically becomes a monster.
Yeah, it was
an undead, and that's the whole
how
premise.
Would you call it, like an hybrid isekai or a hybrid reincarnation?
Yeah,
more like a hybrid reincarnation, right? Because a lot of the other reincarnations, for example, the one that we talked about last week, it went back in time,
right?
With the German Empire, and now, with this one, it was just like time continued the same. He was just different,
right? Yeah. he's not human anymore.
Yeah.
And I liked that because you see in a lot of regular isekai or regular reincarnation types where it's either that, like, the person gets a second chance, or it's in a different world, or it's just like a different person entirely, where they're reincarnated, but it's like a different character. But this one is linear, with a character who goes through something terrible and then has to like deal with it after the fact, and like continues on with his undeadness.
Yeah.
I was about to say life, but he doesn't have his life anymore.
Yeah, you know, he essentially dies. So
this one is an adaptation. It looks like there were some light novels. I haven't looked into that myself, but it looks like, of course, there was also a manga for it, which differs a little bit from the anime, I noticed, with some of the scenes and how it's set up.
Yeah, I did follow the manga up to a little past the point where he goes back to his village.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Did you get that far?
I didn't quite get that far myself. I pretty much just looked at the differences between the anime and the timeline of the
we go and cover probably a little bit about it, just to humor me.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so the light novel started back in 2017, but for the anime, it was just the recent winter 2024, and let's just jump right into the story. So, as we said, this guy, he basically dies, and what's going on is that he's in this labyrinth, and he is going around and he's a solo adventurer, so we kind of already know he's experienced. He's been at this for like 10 years. He's pretty strong, but he's not like uber great.
Yeah,
at this point.
He's he's like
bronze.
the Kamen Rider of
Oh yeah, yeah.
of adventurers. It's like, yeah, he has a lot of passion.
Yeah,
but
he's really low rank. Yeah. So he's a bronze rank adventurer, which is just one above the starting one, iron, and he's going through this labyrinth, and he finds a secret passageway or like a new opening that's not on the map, and it opens up to an unexplored region, and he's pretty excited. He goes in there because it means really great stuff, like new area to uncover, new items to discover, and probably even like new monsters. But he's, excited, so he goes in there, despite any of the dangers, and he comes up to a freaking dragon, like the most powerful monster you could come up against, and he's screwed.
Yeah, I was a bit creeped out by the dragon because it didn't look like a dragon. It looked like a freaking angel from Evangelion.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. I was like, this is an angel. Exactly, seriously, and yeah, like when you look at it, you'll know exactly what I mean.
There might be a clip, and the freaking angel, the dragon.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Helps him for snack. Right. And the guy is full of regret. Like, this is it. It's like,
yeah,
all of my work like amounted to nothing. 10 years. I was not strong enough. I wanted to be mithril, and we will discover why later on why he wanted to become mithril, because mithril is the goat.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Like not everyone it's a mithril. And while he's regretting, he's having some flashbacks. Is that true? Like, he's having some flashbacks about what Loraine, a friend of him, told her, like, like there's some monsters and they're capable of evolution, and it's just kind of like out there. And then he wakes up and he's like, wait, what happened? And he looks at himself on the reflection on the water, and he sees a skeleton, and he's freaked out because he's like, the heck is this? It's like, it's like, who's this?
It's Get Talker.
And he doesn't know what to do. He just starts walking. He sees some monsters that are attacking him, which I thought it was a bit weird.
What? You mean since he's now a monster, they're attacking him?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a little bit odd.
Because like there were a lot of monsters, but it's not like all the monsters would attack each other.
Right, or else what would the adventurers fight? Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, they didn't really explain that either. I even was also thinking, okay, like slimes and skeletons, maybe they could fight, but even the other skeletons were fighting him too, and were like aggroed against him. Only explanation I can think of is that he was different, but he's still a monster. So it's really odd.
One of the things that I liked about this anime is that it felt more natural. Because all of the other animes, you always have this pop-up window, and it's like, welcome player, welcome XY,
stats, level.
Yeah, and with this, it's a lot more analog, in which you have skills and all of that, which it's in kind of like in your guild card or whatever, but it's mostly of like your person, like what skills you have or what and what kind of do.
Based on your
it's not like, I unlocked this skill, And with this guy, even when he unlocks his skills, he's like, "Oh, I feel that I can do that." Not like, "Oh, there's
there's
a pop-up window that says
what
like,
is this?
Yeah,
what is this new ability?" Right? I thought the exact same thing when I was reading it, and I thought to myself, "This is very organic." In the way that he is going through and like getting stronger, even as monster. And so that's fascinating that we both had that thought. It is very natural.
Yes. And so the guy starts fighting a lot of monsters that for some reason are coming at him.
Right.
And he's still in the labyrinth. It is not specified how much time he spent there. His only thought is that a lot of people is probably already know that he's lost, or that worst case scenario, he's dead.
Yeah, so because he was a regular guild member,
and he was a famous one. Even though he was the weakest, he was one of kind of like the wisest.
Exactly.
But then he starts noticing that he's able to kill faster a lot of monsters that. It's not like he was struggling, but now he's finding it easier even to move in his skeleton form. Then he's having again another flashback about Loraine, and he's like, "Yeah, you know what? There's this unproven principle that monsters can evolve, can have a lot more potential than people." Because the way she explained it was like, people have a limited potential. Like once they reach it, or like once they have displayed their skills, that's it. They cannot go above or below. The only ways for them to go above is because they already had that potential unlocked, which it was something that he lacked. And he sees this as an opportunity to become even stronger. And from skeleton, he becomes a ghoul after killing a bunch of other monsters.
Yeah, and this process is called existential evolution. And it is a little bit more organic or natural, even in this scenario too. Whenever he defeats a monster, their mana, or I guess you could say life force, kind of gets absorbed into his monster body, I guess you could say, and then it like forces the monster to evolve. I guess you could say like get stronger too, but it's that like evolution idea. So as a ghoul, he looks pretty different. He now has like sinew and muscle. He still looks pretty undead with like his face being half not there. But he's much stronger now. And at this point he realizes he's a lot more agile and stronger than he ever was, even as a human. Which I thought that was so sad, because he was like, like working so hard for 10 years trying to like become mithril, and just a couple days
as a monster, and he already surpassed himself.
And man, it just got to me. I was like,
poor dude,
poor dude. And what, he's like middle age, or not much more than 25, I want to say.
I think he's somewhere between like 20 something and 30 something. Because I believe that he's
poor guy.
I think he started being an adventurer around 15 years. And he's been 10 years there, so probably like 25-ish or so. And so there comes this point where he finds a girl that it's been cornered by some skeletons, and this girl it's a newbie. So he's like, "Whoa, should I save her? Should I not? Because I look like this." It's like if a monster attacks the weaker monsters, the person is not gonna think that monster saved her.
Right.
He's gonna think like the monster just stole the prey from those weak monsters.
And he's gonna go after you next.
But regardless of he's a good natured monster. And so he decides to help her. And, the girl freaks out because this type of monster is not found on the first levels of the labyrinth or the dungeon.
Mm-hmm.
And she's freaking out, and then he's like, where, because he doesn't have vocal cords or like he has, but pretty deteriorated.
Yeah.
And he did manage to, long story short, tell her like, hey, like I'm a friendly slime, like.
Wait, what?
That's from a game, but.
Okay.
He's like, hey, I'm a friend. Like I mean no harm, and he somehow manages to explain his situations. Like, yeah, I used to be a human. My name is Rand. I'm a bronze adventurer.
Yeah, and I need your help.
Like, yeah, like I don't know why I look like this either, but it's like I don't want to kill you.
Yeah.
Would you please help me get out of here? And so the girl is a bit.
Oh, totally. She's still wary.
Wary.
It's a freaking monster, and he looks like a monster. But yeah, she keeps her cool. Like she basically agrees, and he like basically tells her, yeah, I need like some basic stuff like clothes. She comes back, and she went above and beyond. She has like clothes. She's got even I want to say she got a robe for him. Well, anyway,
to cover him and everything.
Oh yes, yeah, like a hood. And then he's like, oh yeah, here's some money. And she also pulls out a mask, and it's like, wow, like she's on top of it. She's like the type of
kind of
friend. Okay. Before we sing her praises, so yeah, she got this mask, and he's like, okay, like how thoughtful of you to like get this because of how I look. So like, man, we like as an audience, we know he's screwed when this happens. He like gets closer with the mask, and then it starts to like shimmer, and it like snaps onto his face. So it, like it's on there, but come to find out, he can't take it off.
Yeah, it's like a cursed item. It's like, where do you get this? At a store, it was like 10 copper. You didn't think anything shady was happening for 10 copper.
It was like a back alleyway from the city, and man, oh man.
You had one job.
She screwed up.
But whatever. He lets it slide because he has more important stuff to worry about, like the rest of his body.
Right.
And so they come out from the dungeon. They go through another entrance to the city.
About that freaking mask, I thought of JoJo Bizarre's Adventure. Oh man, I was like, freaking masks. Oh, don't even start.
I was thinking more about the mask, the green.
That's even weirder. Oh my goodness. Very funny.
But yeah, they go through another entrance, and once they're in the city, Ren decides to part ways, and he tells like, thank you, but that's it. Like I don't want you to help me because I don't want to put you in the spot. Yeah. Like you've done more than enough. Yeah. So he decides to go back to Loraine. Loraine is the only person that he trusts enough with this now new secret. And Loraine, she fakes that she is asleep.
Yeah, it was a really odd thing because like later on we see it from her perspective, and she's thinking to herself like, oh, like why isn't he just like coming in, like, oh, whatever, and like she goes on.
When she kind of hears him, she's like, oh yeah,
like I'm gonna play a trick on him or something. He comes in, he's like, Loraine, like,
even with his voice, that
something
sounded really coarse, like Loraine. She's like, What? Like, we have a problem. Like, what kind of problem? This problem.
Oh my gosh. Kudos to her. She like takes it in stride.
I mean, because she's like a mad scientist kind of thing.
Yeah.
So.
True. She's like, yeah, you could stay here. Like I'll help you out. But you're gonna pay me back with your blood. And it's like, whoa, dude.
With your body. Rent was like,
oh my goodness. Oh, the tables have turned. Oh, jeez Louise. Yeah, and he was right. She was the exact person that he needed. She's kind of a outlier. She's like out in the woods, not like in the city proper. And yeah, she's like doing experiments and oh my gosh, she yeah, you summed it up. She's definitely a mad scientist. So they start like thinking about what happened, and I like their relationship because there's just a simplicity to them trying to like figure out things and what's going on with him, but also they consult with each other, like him with his plans of what he's going to do, which is pretty epic, because she's also like really strong and all that.
She's a silver, right?
She's silver rank.
And yeah, Ren just says like, yeah, you know what? Like plans haven't changed. I think that I can be a mithril now.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna do that. So he needs resources. He needs money and stuff. So he decides to do something really. I guess it was normal, but he decides to go to re-enlist himself again as an adventurer with the same name. Because why not? And the last name of Loraine. And it's also, like, sure, yes, that's not suspicious at all.
Especially with how you look. Oh, man.
Even the receptionist at the guild, who was really fond of Rand, was like, sure, Mr. Rand, that it's clearly not related at all with the other Rand that went missing a couple days, who happened to be a friend of Loraine. And he was like, oh yeah, I'm like the third cousin from the grandmother's side of Loraine. Yes.
Right. I'm a relative. Right. Oh yeah.
I'm not a monster, by the way. I'm a real person. And anyways, he starts earning, making some money by going to the dungeon. He even helps like a guy from a restaurant.
Restaurant. Yeah. Not a farm.
By going back to, which I thought this was a really dumb move because he takes these new adventure. He goes to the same place where he died, and he's like, yeah, dude, like what? Seriously. What were you expecting for it to happen?
Yeah. Well, okay, yeah. Yeah, it was pretty dumb because, well, he's experienced, right? He's been an adventurer for 10 years. You should know the score. So yeah, he takes him back to the place that killed him. Lucky for him, the dragon wasn't there anymore. But yeah, it was kind of a dumb move to take this rookie along with him. They meet like a giant skeleton. But yeah, they come back and he basically tells the restaurant guy, hey, you can take the kind
of like the magic gem or something from the skeleton.
Yeah, right? That. And all I want in return is like your resources and free food from your restaurant. And then the restaurant owner is like, yeah, sounds good. And also the blacksmith too. The blacksmith, he knew he was rent.
Oh yeah, right away.
Right away. Like the yeah. I don't know. Like everybody recognizes him.
Yeah,
and
you know that's the thing that he was just trying to like. Yeah, I am not Rent.
Right.
I'm a different person, and everyone was like,
"My name's Rent, but I'm not Rent."
Right.
Yeah, like, but no one's fooled. I don't know what he was thinking. He must have like blinders on.
Like this was the worst impersonation of Superman ever.
Right? Like I'm not Superman. Oh my god.
Why are you dressed as Superman? Halloween?
No.
It was something like that. And leaving that aside. After he defeats the giant skeletons and makes a deal with the restaurant owner to have him sell all the stuff instead of him, he goes back again because he even finds another portal, and in that other portal,
that one,
he finds a room that it's kind of like a bit destroyed. It seemed old. Yeah. And he was it an elf? I don't know if it was an elf, but she finds a lady, and the lady was like, "What are you doing here, you thief? You."
Right. Like you're not. And
he's like, "No, I'm just an adventurer. Like I'm not weird." He's like, "Sure,
you're here to steal something." Like blasts him, and like destroys his shirt and stuff.
Yeah. Then she sees that. He's not a human,
right?
And he's like, "So what's happened to you?" He's like, "I'm an adventurer, and I'm an undead. Please don't kill me again."
I was looking for something, I was like exploring this new area, and she's like, "Oh, I forgive you." It's like, okay, and then she gives him her robe, and then she says
a magic map as well.
And a magic map, and it's like, I swear that I'm up to no good. Oh wait, no, not that bad.
Different franchise.
And she's like, yeah, it's a magic map, and then she doesn't really say anything else, but she said, like, I'll return you or something, and then she like does some weird space magic portal thing, and then he is back at the entrance. Man, that was a weird encounter, because I don't think she was an elf, but I don't think she was quite human.
Either.
If she was at one time, she's not a human anymore, because she's definitely like just a little bit off the norm, especially since she was in the labyrinth for one.
Yeah, the thing is that at least in the part that I stopped reading on the manga, she has not made an appearance yet.
Oh, really? Okay.
But
just that one time then.
Yeah, there's a special situation with Rent's family, or like village.
You mean
they are a special bunch. And if we have time,
we'll go
back to that, but
because that's quite a bit farther than the anime.
Yeah,
okay,
gotcha. But everything goes smoothly after that.
Oh yes.
Since he's a new adventurer, Iron, he decides to take.
Yes, there's one other thing, but yeah.
Go ahead. If it's before.
Well, I remember specifically with the restaurant owner, the only thing that doesn't go smoothly is that he is coming back to Loraine's place, and some things were happening when he was going with the restaurant owner that he was like, oh man,
right after defeating right after defeating the skeleton,
right after that, and he's like, man, like, right, because that's a lot of
experience, I guess.
And so he's like, yeah, like, he's looking mighty delicious.
Yeah, he goes back to Loraine and he's like, wow, she looks delicious too.
Delicious.
And you're like, I mean, yes, but Rand, come on. Like,
he's like,
I don't think we're talking about the same delicious here.
Right. He's thirsty, but he's thirsty for blood. Literal blood. Sorry.
Yeah, he just grabs a nimble off Lorraine's neck.
Right. He loses it. He's like, he goes all, I'm gonna eat you type of thing. Sorry, I don't know what part you were gonna mention. But this happens right after. So he takes a bite of her, and she wasn't really expecting anything. She was like, why are you acting weird? Like, cause he like hugged her, and so she's like, what, are you drunk? No, you can't be drunk. So she's like going through it analytically, like what's going on with him. And then he bites her on the shoulder. She is like pushed down onto the ground, and he's just just like lost it. But then she shoots like a fireball and defends herself, and so he blacks out though. Takes a little while, and he comes to find out that he evolved again.
Yeah, he's a lesser vampire, right? Or was he still a ghoul?
But he becomes so this is one of the differences I came up with.
Okay.
In the anime, they called it a ghast.
Okay.
Where he's basically like a servant to the vampire, or that's like the station of where it would land for the monster he became. But in the manga, it said Thrall.
Thrall.
So that's one of the differences I saw also. In between. But anyway, he becomes something that can pass a little bit more for human. Definitely, he looks monster. He looks like a monster with his teeth, especially. So he still has to hide his face, but he feels a lot better. Like he's a lot stronger, and Loraine is also like pretty perturbed that he did that to her.
Yeah.
And she even thinks to herself like, oh, like next time you do that, like be fully cautious once you come after me, like and I was like, oh, are you
kinky?
Kinky, yeah, like okay, like he can bite her, but okay, yeah, Loraine, yeah, calm down. So yeah, there's definitely a little bit of tension, sexual tension there, with it from her side,
which Ren totally ignores because
Oh yeah.
Protagonist, anime protagonist.
Yeah.
Anime male protagonist, to be more specific.
That's right. Right. Well, yeah, and then after that, yeah. Things do go smoothly after that.
Yeah. But so yeah, the next big thing is that he wants to start again to rank up.
Yep.
So he enrolls again on the bronze test to rank up, and he gets enrolled with 2 kids. He had get acquainted himself with the kids previously just by seeing them at the dungeon, but now he's like, okay, and one of the kids, the male one, he was a bit aggressive because he's like, yeah, you know what, like, what is an old man like you doing? And he's
like I'm in the front line, like that's my role.
Yeah, but then they see like all the experience that Rand has, and all the how Rand successfully does everything like perfectly.
Yeah, right from the get-go, like starting with the map too. He says, yeah, like that map they gave us, 15 years old. We can't use it. We gotta buy a new one. So they buy a new one, and they're like, oh, I wouldn't have thought of that.
Of course you weren't. and he's like, well, I could use my magic map, but no,
that's
cheating. He's like, dude, you're already cheating.
Oh yeah,
He's like, you knew what would happen in this test, but sure, whatever. Yeah, they even stop a few, adventurers that wanted to stop them from continuing, but it was just some test, uh, test.
A guild test.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were part of it, just like trying to test them, and they knock them out, and then they're like, yeah, let's continue. And he says like, hey, please pick up these guys, and some of the guys that were in the shadows were like, how did he know that we were here? It's like, because the dude already took it. And they get to the end of the test. They even defeat the last boss, which was a giant slime. And they passed, and the receptionist is like, Mr. Rent, that is not the usual Rent that I know. Can I talk to you? And he's like, of course, Miss Receptionist, that it's not the receptionist that I've known for these 10 years.
Right.
And she's just like, you're Rent. No. No. Right. Yes, you are. You are. Like, no, like, no, I don't know him. And
it's so funny.
Like they go back to Loraine. She goes a bit overboard by telling him like, hey, yeah, just tell me what you know, or I'll become a slave if I
reveal your secret.
Reveal your secret. And he's like, whoa, okay, yeah, I'm Rent.
Yeah.
So
and this is like what I became, and even Loraine was like threatening her when they came back, even after she signed the contract, or I guess Rent signed the contract. Loraine was like, hey, like, you came to the house of a monster
and a witch.
Like, what do you expect would have happened? Like, I'm gonna like eat you for dinner, and like I'm gonna use your blood and take your blood. Are you okay with that? It's like, that's what he became. and I was like, whoa, okay,
calm down, lady.
She's not pulling any punches. And I have a suspicion she was doing that kind of with ulterior motives, because she's a girl and Rent is bringing her home, and I was, oh man, yeah, Loraine, she's way jealous. Like, we see this happen over and over again. Even with the orphanage girl. Oh my gosh, man. But they basically tell her everything that happened, what's going on. Rent is like basically just a monster, but he's still like himself, with his personality and his consciousness. But yeah, she agrees, I won't tell anybody, type of thing.
Yeah, and things go smoothly. Ren now is bronze. He's taking a lot of other quests. One of the quests that it's important for the plot.
Oh yeah.
He goes to a swamp that it's said to be poisonous, and he's all good because poison doesn't do crap on him.
Yeah.
And he gets a new weapon from the blacksmith. That they still don't know that he thinks that they still don't know that he's Rent.
Oh yes, yeah.
But the blacksmith is like, yeah, I made this specially for you because I know you, and he's like, no, you don't. You don't know me. Right. And this special weapon can support all the different powers that Rent has. There are 3 different kinds of powers, right?
Yes.
Which is spirit, magic. And what was the other one?
Divinity.
And
divinity is special because it's only granted by the gods, or
spirits, or kind of like divine spirits, kind of like lesser gods, if you will, right?
That's right. And yes, Rent, he can use all 3, which is uber rare. Only a few people can use 2. Mana and spirit usually, but yeah, it's super rare with all 3. and even the blacksmith was like, "Oh, I only have seen this. Like, you make the second person I've seen this happen. Like, you can use all three." And it's like, "Oh, okay, right, second person, same person."
Yeah.
But yeah, Rent, he can use all three. Divinity, it's basically like holy power. The priests can use it, holy people can use it, type of a thing. It's like where you can use blessing, type of a thing.
And it will be funny again later on.
Oh yes.
Of the power of divinity, but yeah, he goes to the swamp. Yep. He encounters this giant kind of like turtle.
Giant turtle, yeah, Taraske.
And Taraske. It was the swamp of the Taraske.
Oh yes.
And he went there for a quest from an orphanage to save the nun that was taking care of the orphans, because she had kind of like magic contamination. And that apparently in this world is kind of like normal for people to get magic contamination of a lot of usage, and they can die. So in there was a flower that grew that can be used to make medicine to alleviate from this illness. Yeah. And so he goes there, he fights this giant turtle with his pet rat that he turned from the orphanage, because the pet rat beat him and
became this familiar.
And even the freaking pet rat can use all of his powers as well. Yeah, like, they're like, sure.
Dude, it's freaking OP. And he lops off the head of this huge turtle, and yeah, it's wacky. He goes to the field of flowers, and it's the dragon blood. I want to say it was dragon blood flowers, and this weird white-haired guy comes up through the mist, and he's like, "Oh, I'm also here to pick flowers." And it's like, okay, cool. Let's pick some flowers together.
He's like, so, how's your day?
Oh, you look strong. I have a quest for you. Like you can come here regularly, so I want you to pick up my quest to like do this regularly off the side, not through the guild. So yeah.
He's like, we'll think about it. Yeah, we'll be in contact with you, and he goes back.
Not suspicious at all.
That's the thing. He just swaps it off. He's like, what a fine gentleman.
Yeah, he's not normal, but it's okay.
He's like, who am I to talk?
Right. Oh, right. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. It was so weird. Oh yeah.
Yeah. The dude goes back to the orphanage. The little girl that hired him was like, hey, I want to be an adventurer. And he's like, yeah, if you have magic, you can. I know of someone who could probably train you, but let's get things first. They get the medicine for the nun, and things are looking brighter and brighter.
Yeah. Oh yes. So for that guy that he met at the Field of Flowers, turns out that he was one of the servants to this really powerful family, and so he gets an invitation to go out and basically like meet this family and see if they have like some work, and to like solidify the deal basically. And so Loraine, she knows this family, or at least she's heard of this family, and she's like, you don't one does not simply refuse the request. So she's like, you better go and meet them. And Loraine, she's even like kind of like intimidated by this family, because they're really powerful, they're a really old family. Loraine, she like has known that they are like pretty powerful with like a lot of like magical items too, I think.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, he goes out, and this is kind of a weird interaction that he has when he goes to the noble's house. With the entrance, he has to go through a maze first to get to the house, and this is really odd because the guy at the front, he tells him, "Yeah, don't look at the sun when you go through the maze, like it won't help you." So he starts going through the maze, and he's like trying to make a mental map, but it's not working out at all because he's like, "Oh, I should be there already, like due to my mental map, like something's wrong here." And he comes across this little opening, and there's this strange girl having tea in the gazebo type thing.
Yeah, like they share some tea, and he was like, "Yeah, what a strange little girl." And she's like, "So, are you giving up?" I'm like, no.
Oh yeah.
Like I'll do it one more time. I was like, "Yeah, just don't look at the sun." I was like, "What's with people just telling me this?"
Right,
and
yeah.
After a while of thinking and throwing some stuff, he notices that it was an illusion, and
Yeah.
he gets to the entrance and is like, "Hey, I was told that if I managed to cross that, I would get a prize. Can I get one, please?"
Oh, yeah.
And it turns out that the girl that he
yes.
met having some tea, she is the head of the family, and she was like, "Okay, yeah, sure." And this family is famous for collecting lots of magical tools from dungeons and labyrinths, and she starts showing him some things, and then they wake up a mechanical golem.
Oh yep. And he's to fight it.
I thought that was intentional.
I think it was because this is I think there is evidence for that because they're like, "Oh, the freaking shutdown mechanism is lost. Let me go find it because I don't know where it is."
Whatever could have happened with it?
Right. It's totally my bad. So the servant is like throwing items around, like, "Oh, I can't find it." But the little girl, she's like, "Oh, just keep fighting it until we find it. Like, come at there, like do your best." But then, yeah, like after he fights it, and he's holding his own. It's not like he's like in danger. Kind of. He's fighting a golem. Like no one wants to fight a golem. So after a little while, and he even tries to like find something that Loraine told him about golems. Like there's like a forehead symbol where you can change it. We get a cut where there's a frame with her, and she like says a word, and I think it's the command word where it shuts down right away.
That the girl said.
The girl
says, she was looking, but then she was like, "Stop!" And then
right,
like, "Oh, I found it." And like,
right, it's like
sure, like you're acting is as bad as Rent saying that he's not Rent.
Right. So yeah,
but as an apology, they're like, "Yeah, you know what?
Oh, yeah.
You can have another item, like on top of the one that you rightfully deserve from the maze. You can have another one."
Yeah, so I'll keep looking. Yeah,
and he gets called out by a bottle.
Yeah,
and the little girl like, "Oh yeah, you like that? That's vampire's blood." Like it is said that whomever takes it will turn into a vampire, but there's no such info to back it up.
Right.
It could also be that the moment the person drinks it, they will die. And he's like,
or you go insane and die anyway.
And they're like, okay. It's like, okay, yeah. He takes it. They seal the deal of him going to the swamp again to get some flowers.
Yep. And he goes back to Loraine, and This is the funniest thing. This cracked me up for the whole series. This is like the reason why to watch it. He's showing Loraine the little remote control plane or blimp. Man, this blew my mind. This was the item, at least this was the magical item that he chose for what he wanted, and it was this little toy.
Such a kid, yeah.
Oh man! And even Loraine was like, "You got this."
He's like, "You're kidding me, right?"
You're kidding me. And he's like, "Well, you can like use it to like look at stuff." Like,
and he's like
looking, and it's shot of like.
He's like, yeah, you know, recon information.
Right? And it's her chest. And it's like, oh, right.
I see you're a man of culture.
Right? Yeah. I was expecting Loraine to say that. Like, oh, man, I see you're a man of culture. Oh, my gosh. Yeah. Loraine knows what's up.
but yeah, he's also no. Like I also got this.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, vampire's blood. Okay.
Oh, man,
you know,
funny.
Again, makes long story short.
Oh yeah.
He drinks it, and you know he's just afraid that he might go crazy and go on another rampage and attack Loraine. And Loraine also sounds like, hey, like just make sure that if you do it, like you own it. It's like there's no going back. And you know, he drinks it. He's about to go crazy, and Loraine tells he's like kind of like, Simba, remember who you are.
Oh yes, you want to be a mithril adventurer. Kudos to Loraine.
He gets a goal of himself, and you know he becomes hot again.
Oh right. And Loraine is like, "Oh, you're my man."
Right. And you know now he looks like a human. He has some little wings as well.
Oh yes, yeah. And they can like shrink and change size. Oh man, that was odd. But yeah, Loraine. This was a great ending. Loraine, she's like, yeah, I was like studying up on what type of vampire you are, but you are definitely a vampire now. And yeah, you look like yourself. So there's one thing I need to say to you. Welcome back, Rent Fame.
Yeah. Is that what it ends?
The anime ends around there. Yeah, so that's where the anime ends. I think so. There is a difference there and the manga for that part too. Right there is where they like test out him flying and stuff, and like some of the things happen, and then she like welcomes him back. But yeah, that's where the anime ends, just like in the house, saying that to him.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a really nice wrap up to that season. I think.
Do you think there's gonna have a second season though?
I really wish. I really hope so.
You know, because the thing is that the next episodes or like on the manga, I don't know about the light novel, but on the manga, the next chapters, it's
with the orphanage, right? Where he goes back.
I mean, on the orphanage, the girl, it's taking lessons from Loraine, but also there have been a lot of kidnappings in the town and some other towns.
Oh yes, that was one thing that
and they're suspecting that vampires are doing that.
Okay.
And the thing is that Ren thinks that, you know, he's your run-of-the-mill vampire. Ooh, and there's this girl from the church that, you know, she eats vampires for breakfast, pretty much.
Okay.
And she has, and her divinity power is kind of like so pure that the moment that she, you know, infuses the vampire with divinity, the vampire kind of like catches flames and dies.
I see where this going.
And you know, like, you know, spoiler alert, like big spoiler alert, you know, like if you don't want to see that, thanks for watching this episode. Keep watching anime, matane. But if not,
oh yes,
you've been warned.
Okay. I'm really curious now.
The thing is that a lot of, you know, the successes from Rent have not gone unnoticed. And
I see.
And Rent is called over, and people suspect that since he's also been dealing with the flowers with this powerful family, it is believed that powerful family is also vampires
involved. Okay, I see. So
they are.
Naturally.
But they are not your run-of-the-mill vampires, because there are like levels of vampires.
Right, like lesser vampires. Like high or Loraine said.
Yeah, on the I don't remember quite well, but on the manga they like I think they call like the primordial vampire. It's kind of like the highest.
Original.
And the thing is that this lady from the church is called to the guild, and Randy's like, so
wait a second.
So what do you want to talk to me? And this lady is known for killing vampires, and he's like, oh well, we know of all your records, and it's not gonna notice. We just want to check something, and when they shake hands, she infuses Rent with divinity.
But Rent is special though; he has divinity.
Yeah, the thing is that he has divinity, but also apparently like the girls are like, yeah, even higher vampires would feel like pain, and he's infused with divinity and he doesn't feel anything, and he's like, okay, why didn't I feel anything if I'm a vampire? And they haven't said it, but I think that freaking Rent, it's a primordial vampire.
Oh my gosh. Okay, that's cool. I mean, he might as well be.
Yeah, and yes. I think that powerful family is also, or at least the little girl is also like a primordial vampire.
I see. And then of course the servant may be a lesser type of vampire.
Yeah.
But okay, that's cool. So then that means the family probably knows too.
Oh yeah, the family knows definitely that Rent it's a vampire.
Okay. Very fascinating.
The next big thing is that Rent goes back to his village with Loraine. And this village is secluded from the world. And really? he always thought that there was something not wrong, but there was something in his village of why didn't they want to, go and be part of the world. They were secluded. Turns out that this village, it's originally, the ancestors are originally from the dungeon itself.
No way.
And they're like super OP.
No way.
Or at least some of them.
Wait, then why did they freaking die? Oh wait, I guess.
Yeah, like.
Wait a second, hold on.
Yeah, like not all of them.
Okay, okay.
It's more like a secret. That some of them know about it, but like some other are like regular persons.
Okay.
Like
that explains what
Rent's family that they.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
That they ended up dying because Rent had an encounter with a high level monster.
With the monster, right? And that's where we find. That's where he meets the Mithril adventurer. We kind of skipped that over. We do see that in the anime a little bit with like the encounter with
that the girl that he liked,
Jinlin.
Yeah. She was the one who wanted to be an adventurer, and he was a scaredy cat, and things went down the drain. He was the only one who was rescued and survived.
Fascinating.
But yeah,
fascinating.
You also find it weird because. Yeah, you find it weird because it turns out that the sister of his grandma, and also the hunter, like the lead hunter who taught Rent survival skills, they're so freaking OP. They like there's a moment where he starts fighting Rent and the old lady starts fighting Loraine, and they give them a run for their money. Until a point where they were like, okay, I think you're worthy now. And Ronnie's like, worthy of what? Like, what the heck is... Like, I'm a freaking vampire and you almost bet the crap out of me. He's like, what is wrong with you?
Oh, yikes.
And those guys are like, yeah, you definitely look different, and those wings are definitely weird, but I think you're ready now, and you know that's at least at the time that's where I stopped because there were no more translator chapters.
Okay,
but it was like
that's 60 chapters, right? Around there.
I think so, probably a little more. But yeah.
Dang, so we can definitely see a second season then.
Oh yeah.
With the material that's out, along with the light novel and the manga. I'm assuming the light novel is farther ahead than the manga.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Dang, that's fascinating. I have high hopes then. I really do like these types of stories where it's just a regular fantasy world, but then it just has simple elements of a linear story, but it's self-contained. I like seeing stories like that. Of course, he is not a regular type of adventurer since he became a monster, but even that's kind of cool too.
Yeah.
For sure.
It was good. I'm actually also kind of like excited. But you know, it's a manga. I try to leave a good bunch of chapters because sometimes like you read them like in 5-10 minutes and it's like, oh man, I want.
Yes, yeah, spread it out, yeah. That's awesome.
But yeah, so far I think that the place where the story is going is just giving you more questions instead of answers.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah. Which you know, it could be good and bad because if the next developments are not, you know, taken properly or how they're supposed to, it could lead to like a really crappy ending or development. So whatever. Yeah, this was good.
Sure. Yeah, it was. I really liked it. Go Loraine. Good luck. I hope she wins out. So, because man, she's jealous.
You know, it would suck if this would be a harem one.
Yeah, it wouldn't suck too bad. They haven't really gone heavily in that route from what I've seen. But yeah, I mean, let's see. We have Loraine. We have, of course, the first adventurer that he met, Lena, after he became a monster.
Yeah.
The receptionist, Sheila. The orphanage girl who wants to become an adventurer.
And also on the side of his village, there are like 2 or 3 girls that have the hots.
Oh, no way. Right. Seriously? Oh my goodness. So another couple girls. So already 6. There's 6 already. Dang, wow.
Brian, you're like, way to go, man.
Let's go, man. Yeah.
No, Brian, no, just...
Way to go. Oh, and that's not even counting Laura. I think it's Laura, the pink-haired girl, the one that they fought together at the party in the bronze test.
Okay.
Yeah, that's not even counting her, even though she wasn't really involved, but hey.
Like now you're just putting girls like
oh yeah. Throw them all together. Well, yeah. Well, it is pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah, I hope you guys liked it. Like, don't forget to tune in next week for different anime.
Yep.
Which I already have a few options. Yeah. Keep watching anime. See you next week. Matane.